Elliot Lake is a city based in Ontario that was once known economically for its aptitude in uranium mining. Since then, it has transitioned its economic strategy to tourism, retirement, and cottaging, with the construction of the Algo Center Mall in 1979, built by Algonquin Realty Holdings. It was the largest commercial building in the area. It included housing for retirees, a variety of stores and services, and it even had libraries and offices inside of it. It was the heart of the city and the reason for its economic prosperity. It stayed like this until June 23, 2012, when the parking deck on top of the mall collapsed without warning at approximately 2:18 p.m., wreaking havoc onto the two floors below. Unfortunately, 2 lives were lost and 19 others were heavily injured. The thing is, this could have been avoided had the officials behind the construction of the mall recognized and reacted to the warning signs of the building, which we will talk about some more. After thorough investigation, it was concluded that the collapse was due to a weld that broke apart from corrosion over the years. The parking lot being on the roof of the building made it prone to natural elements such as rain and snow. Salt used to clear snow contains chloride, which speeds up the process of corrosion, and water does this as well. The structure of the roof was done by Harry S. Peterson Company, or HSP. It was faulty to begin with. The structure included hollow core slabs, insulation below the slab, and finally, a concrete topping. Precast concrete was placed over the hollow slabs and a concrete slab was added on top of the precast. To prevent the deterioration of the slabs, HSP tried a new method of pre-cracking the area above the hollow slabs, which they found out caused even more cracks. The insulation being below the slabs also exposed it to the natural elements above, and the concrete topping was not applied uniformly, causing an uneven slope. After its construction, the building immediately saw leaks from the roof. The HSP company did many repairs but to no avail. The property standards bylaw stating that every part of the building must be watertight and structurally rigid was not enforced by the building department of the town. One of the officials, Roger Pijot, was aware of the leaks but did nothing because the mall was an economic importance to the city. For 20 years, Algonquin sealed these leaks but they never stopped. The Cho consulting engineers inspected the building and found many leaks and rust. Cho even advised Algonquin to add a membrane, but due to concerns about the load, Algonquin failed to act. In 1997, a corporation named Retirement Living planned to buy the mall from Algonquin. The manager, Roger Keneal, went through the purchasing process, which had him provide an evaluation and assessment of the building to the city. In the end, the city was never provided this, and instead, Keneally told him the building was structurally sound. He purchased the mall but failed to make any repairs to the building, and the leaks continued. The mall was then sold to Eastwood in 2005, owned by Bob Nazarian. He was aware of the leaks but were told that they could be fixed with maintenance. The leaks continued until 2012. In this time, Nazarian promised that repairs would be done, but he ultimately did nothing. He even had professionals assess the building, but they failed to realize the true extent of the damage. During this time, he actively tried to sell the damaged building, but found no success, until its unfortunate demise in 2012.
Let's talk about the ethical responsibilities here. Ethical responsibilities of an engineer are not just some regulations that have to be followed, but the fact is that an infinite number of human lives depend on these responsibilities. The Elliot Lake case is a major example of failure of these ethical responsibilities by the engineers and the owners. Some of these ethical issues and challenges which were neglected by a number of people are as follows. Firstly, there was a major ethical failure by Mr. Cadillac who, in spite of knowing about the problems, still kept working on the project and did not take required steps to fix the issues. It is clear that money was given preference over human lives, as there were no amends made to the parking garage on the roof even after knowing about the defects. Suitable tests for safety of people were not carried out before making a decision to go with an unprecedented waterproofing system. Hollow core slabs were left outside the building envelope against the instructions provided by Core Sab Incorporation, and public safety was completely neglected. Also, we are very astonished that a lot of mandatory safety inspections were conducted, but still no strict actions were taken to prevent such a disaster.
Chosen actor. The Algo Center Mall owners are the chosen actors for this event. The owners had the information and authority to make the necessary changes to the mall to avoid the mall's collapse. The owners were given complaints and reports about the waterproofing system and the poor maintenance of the mall. The owners' neglect and greed led them to make the decisions that put the greater good of the community at risk for their own gain. The collapse of the mall was a collective of human failures, although the owners had the ultimate responsibility and the power to make sure they were being mindful of the lives that they were responsible for. Why do you believe this is an ethical decision? An ethical decision is one that engenders trust and thus indicates responsibility, fairness, and ecological ethics. There is said to be a situated ethics. Wikipedia. This decision is an ethical decision due to the trust that was given to the owners and everyone involved in the building and managing of the mall. The people involved, i.e., engineers, contractors, suppliers, government officials, owners, and etc., had an obligation to respect the rules and regulations that come with their responsibilities. The requirements of the people involved, engineers, contractors, suppliers, government officials, owners, etc., were to uphold their duties, which are clear and fair based on their position, thus making every decision they made in regards to the building and managing of the mall an ethical decision.
Ministry of Labor complained 2011-2012 of the leaking water but no work order issued, which means the owner knew about the issues and that made them responsible for fixing it. But because the ministry did not issue a work order, they did not fix the problem, which then was the main cause that the mall collapsed. The owner should ask the serious problem that the leaking water can do the moment the Minister of Labor complained about it the first time. This will help them understand how serious the problem is and will make them act faster in fixing it. Their other option is to check yearly if the mall needs any maintenance to prevent any problem from the beginning. Another option is to just fix the leaking water as the Minister of Labor said that they should do it. For the first option, it is consequentialism, as they search for the consequences of the problem if it is left without fixing, and the consequences of it if they fix it. For the second option is deontology, as they will do their duty, which is making sure that their mall is always good and safe, and if there's a problem, they can fix it right away when they find it out. The last option is virtue ethics, as it is their rule as owner that when the Minister of Labor complain about the leaking water is to fix it. The best option is the deontology one, as it is their duty to make sure that their mall is always clean and safe with no issues. And whenever there's a problem they fix it right away, which will make the shoppers go more to their mall as they will know that the mall's owners are doing their job to satisfy their customers.
The problem began when the head engineer, John Cudlick, preferred not to use high quality material by considering the load of the construction. The developers also pressured the engineers to hide water leaking issue. To be honest, the ethical responsibility of the actor was to issue true statement according to the engineering ethical codes. To analyze this project clearly, the engineer didn't prioritize the safety as he had to hold safety paramount according to the engineering ethics. So my recommendation to this actor is to act as a faithful agent in order to keep everyone safe.